History remembers the headlines. We find the bylines. This is the unsung. The story of the personal computer is often told through its titans. The visionary CEOs and the hardware geniuses who put a machine on every desk. But the feel of it, the simple, intuitive way we reach into the screen and manipulate words and ideas, that was shaped by a different kind of pioneer working in the shadows of innovation. Of all the interactions we have with our devices, one is so universal, so fundamental, it feels less like an invention and more like a law of nature. Copy, cut, and paste. It's the digital equivalent of scissors and glue, a foundational act we perform thousands of times without a second thought. And it wasn't created by Apple or Microsoft. It was born at Xerox's legendary Palo Alto Research Center, or PARC, from the mind of a programmer named Larry Tesler. His personal philosophy was a simple, passionate plea on behalf of the user. Don't mode me in. His invention was a concept he called the clipboard. We all know the story of Steve Jobs seeing the future in a visit to PARC and bringing the graphical user interface to the masses. But it was Tesler's specific, user-obsessed innovations that made that interface truly, effortlessly usable for everyone. So, how did the man who designed the digital handshake between human and computer become a ghost in the machine of his own revolution? Larry Tesler was a different breed of computer scientist. He wasn't just interested in what a computer could do. He was obsessed with how a person could feel while doing it. After working at Stanford's influential AI lab, he joined Xerox PARC in 1973. PARC was the stuff of legend, a corporate skunkworks operating in a parallel future, inventing things the world wasn't ready for. The laser printer, Ethernet, the modern personal computer with its graphical display. Tesla was part of a group with the ambitious name Office of the Future. At the time, computers were hostile environments, designed by and for a priesthood of experts. To use one was to learn a secret language of arcane commands. The dominant design philosophy was model. A model system is like a car where the gas pedal sometimes makes you go faster, and sometimes, depending on a hidden switch, it suddenly turns on the windshield wipers. The X key might delete a character in one mode, but in another, it might close your program without warning. This was the source of constant errors and deep frustration for anyone who wasn't a full-time programmer. Tesla saw this as the single biggest wall between computers and ordinary people. He believed computing should be modeless, direct, predictable, and intuitive. His personal crusade was to eliminate modes, to create a system where the user was always in control, not the machine. But his obstacle was cultural. He was fighting against the established religion of computing, arguing that the convenience of the programmer should come second to the clarity for the user. It was a radical idea. Tesler's revolution was crystallized in a piece of software called Gypsy. It was a text editor he co-developed for the PARC Alto, one of the world's first personal computers. To understand its impact, you have to understand the old way. In the dominant text editors of the era, like V or Emacs, you lived in a state of constant mental gymnastics. You had to press a key to enter insert mode just to start typing. Then, to do anything else, like move a sentence or delete a line, you had to press the escape key to go back into command mode. In command mode, typing D wouldn't give you the letter D. It might delete a word. It was efficient if you memorized the hundreds of commands, but for a novice, it was like trying to write a letter while navigating a minefield. Tesler's Gypsy offered a profoundly different, modeless path. It was built on the principle of what you see is what you get. If you typed a letter, that letter appeared on the screen. Simple. To manipulate text, he introduced a beautiful two-step dance. First, you select. Then, you operate. Using the mouse, another PARC innovation, you would highlight the text you wanted to change. That visual selection was key. It told the computer, I'm talking about asterisk. This asterisk. Once selected, you could then choose a command from a menu or press a keyboard shortcut. And this is where his most famous invention was born. The core commands he implemented were cut, copy, and paste. Cut would remove the selected text and place it on an invisible, temporary holding space, the clipboard. Copy would do the same, but leave the original text untouched. and paste would insert whatever was on the clipboard at the cursor's location. This was revolutionary. It turned the abstract command line manipulation of data into a physical metaphor everyone already understood, cutting something out with scissors and pasting it somewhere else. It was direct. It was visual. And most importantly, it was forgiving. You could see what you were affecting before you committed the change. This modeless select and operate paradigm became the keystone of accessible computing. So why is Onday? The name Larry Tesler, as famous as Steve Jobs or Bill Gates? His erasure from popular memory is a classic story of how great ideas get divorced from their inventors. First, there was the absorption by the institution. PARC was an idea factory, but its parent company, Xerox, was notoriously bad at turning those ideas into products. The inventions became known collectively as PARC's ideas, a cloud of genius that anonymized the individual creators like Tesler, who were responsible for them. The brand of the institution overshadowed the brilliance of the person. Then came the Steve Jobs narrative. When Jobs and his team toured PARC in 1979, they were given a now-famous demonstration of the Alto computer. Tesler himself showed them the system. Jobs immediately saw the commercial potential of the graphical interface, the mouse, and Tesler's modeless interaction. Apple didn't steal the technology. They hired the talent, including Tesler himself, a year later, and more importantly, they commercialized the vision. The resulting media story became Jobs took the ideas from Xerox. This narrative pitted one charismatic leader and his company against another faceless corporation. The engineers, the actual inventors of the concepts, were reduced to a footnote. Tesla went on to work at Apple for 17 years, further blending his own legacy into the powerful brand of his employer. Finally, there's the ubiquity effect. When an invention becomes so successful, so deeply integrated into our lives that we can't imagine a world without it, it ceases to feel like an invention at all. It feels like a natural part of the environment. We don't ask who invented the alphabet or the wheel, and we don't ask who invented copy and paste. Its perfect utility makes it invisible, and its inventor along with it. Larry Tesler's legacy is the invisible grammar of modern computing. Every time you edit a document, fill out a web form, write an email, or rearrange apps on your phone, you are using a direct descendant of his select and operate model. He didn't just invent a feature. He invented a way of thinking about human-computer interaction that put the human first. The correction to the historical record isn't just about giving one man his due. It's about recognizing the unsung army of user experience designers, software architects, and interface engineers who, like Tesler, prioritize human intuition over machine efficiency. Their work doesn't make for splashy headlines or dramatic keynotes, but it quietly and profoundly defines the texture of our daily digital reality. They write the true bylines of the digital age. Who else do you know of who designed a ubiquitous, invisible part of our world that we all take for granted? Share their story in the comments below. And for more stories of the forgotten pioneers behind our modern world, subscribe to the Unsung. Thanks for watching.